Hello, hello. Oh my God, there it is. Hi guys, how's it going? Oh my God, right as Leslie said, should we start today? I spilled a huge thing of sparkly water on the desk. Okay, I think it's contained. Bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. I'll be right there. We gotta make sure it's not on the wires. It's good to see you all. I can't see any of you, but I will in a second. Jesus Christ. It's chaos. It's mayhem. It's chaos and mayhem. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. The drama. Hello. Oh my God. Hi guys. How's it going? I just spilled sparkling water every fucking place. Okay. I'm in an Airbnb. Look at these crooked ass pictures on the wall. And my little, how do I point? Everything's backwards. I give up. Oh my God. I'm in an Airbnb, but doesn't it look like I'm in an underground sex bunker? Like somebody lowered me into a cave and they're having their way with me. It's not what's happening. All right. Oh my gosh. Katie Church live, coming to you live from Northern Florida. Excuse me. Where I am a spiller of sparkly water all over wires and cables. Oh my God, it's been that kind of couple days. All right, I'm glad you're all here. Shoot a little set of words, would you, into the old chat? Let me know you're here. I'm going to bring my lamp back down to the table because I'm pretty sure I won't get electrocuted now. Pretty sure. I literally don't know if I can do this with these pictures crooked. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't handle it. I can't do it. How are you guys going to focus on the spiritual wisdom I'm bringing through if the pictures are crooked? I don't know how you were going to focus. There's no way to focus. Is that better? What do we think? This is quality entertainment right here. All right. Can you guys hear me okay? Leslie, is the sound working? Am I frozen? What's happening? Squeezle, what's happening? Come up here. You got to help me. I'm a mess. Listen, you guys, I took Squeezle to the beach today. Oh my God, here in Northern Florida. It is so hot. I forgot about Florida in the summer. It is really serious. I took this animal to the beach and she was like, I'm sorry, what? And immediately was panting so heavily, she just turned straight around and headed back to the car. She's like, nah, I'm all set. Okay, so today, what a mess. Are you going to Temple of the Universe? Why else does someone go to Northern Florida? That's a funny question. I don't know what that is. No, I'm not. I'm drinking my Coke Zeros like I like to do. I'm going to start showing this every time because I want one day somebody will know somebody at Coke Zero and then Coke Zero can sponsor these. We're going to change the world because of Coke Zero. Let's do it. All right. So as promised, good to see you all. We're going to open the records of this group of humans. I'm going to take your questions. I'm going to pull a 3-card spread for you. And I'm going to see if the record keepers have anything that they want to say or bring through for y'all in particular. So I'm glad you're here. Ray Hance is the one who asked the question. Great. Listen, I like to hop on the liberal bandwagon of shitting on Florida as much as the next lady from California. But I can't because I don't hate Florida the way everybody hates it. There are wonderful parts of Florida, and the part I'm in is stunning. The beach is gorgeous. The whole collective consciousness of Florida has changed because of COVID. People, like a whole influx of all kinds of folks came in here. It's a different vibe. Like this town, I'm in Jacksonville at the moment, was an entirely different city 5 years ago. So it's like we took like the earth, like collective humanity was like in a jar, and the universe just went, let's shake all that shit up for a second. A friend of mine said to me the other day, she's like, wow, you're part of the great migration. I can't wait to see how the demographics fall politically when everybody stops moving around. And I thought that was really insightful, because it's true. It's like, I'll be very curious to see how it all falls into place. Another thing is, well, I'm not going to get too political because I don't feel like it, and I don't want to get controversial and make people have more feelings than I'm ready to facilitate at this moment. So let's open the Akashic records of this group and take some questions. I'm sitting with which deck wants to be used. We'll see. Okay, so if everybody here today hearing my voice could just close their eyes for just a moment, we'll do a really short meditation. And over the course of that meditation, we'll get grounded, and I'll tap into the collective of this group, and I'll open the Akashic records of everybody here tonight, and we'll take some questions and see what's what. Okay, there's already so much information coming in. I could just start talking, but let's open the records. So if you could take a few deep breaths, please, each of you, into your low belly, and really let the space from your belly button to the pelvic floor expand and fill with air as you inhale. And then allow the space from the belly button to the pelvic floor to collapse and release air as you exhale. This allows you to connect to your inner emotional truth, your deepest self, your most vulnerable parts, your emotions. Leslie, if you could do me a favor and let me know if I freeze up a bunch. The Wi-Fi's been a little spotty. Just let me know if it freezes, okay? Thank you, my friend. All right. And as we continue to breathe into the low belly, just feel your feet, everybody, flat on the ground. And imagine a little spinning foot chakra spinning open at the bottom center of each foot, like a little tornado of light that just starts to expand open and wide and open and wide at the bottom center of each foot. Mm-hmm. And as those foot chakras open, we're just going to collectively acknowledge that this allows the auric field of our bodies to communicate with and dissolve into the auric field of the earth. So imagine that your aura is 15 feet around you in every direction. Imagine then how big the auric field of the earth is, many hundreds of miles in every direction. And you sitting on top of it, opening your foot chakras, allows that auric field into the body, around the body, to be, it sort of absorbs you into its frequency. If you'll allow it and receive it. And then we'll watch 500 tree roots of light extend through the open window of each of your feet and anchor hundreds of miles down into the planet. So 500 tree roots anchoring down into the earth through the left foot. 500 tree roots anchoring through the right foot, hundreds of miles down into the earth. So we have 1,000 tree roots made of light anchoring from the tree of light that is you, the individual you, down into the tree of light that is the consciousness of the planet. Next, we watch a nice wide grounding cord just through our mind's eye. No effort required on your end. A nice wide grounding cord extend from the base of your spine to the center of the earth, like a tunnel, like a tube, like a root. And we'll see, imagine, and allow there to be a river of light that flows up through that grounding cord into the base of your spine, given by the earth herself, flooding into the base of your spine, flooding forward into each of your hip sockets, flooding down through your quads, glutes, and hamstrings, into your knees, calves, shins, ankles, and feet. And we'll watch that river of light flood down into every single one of the 1,000 tree roots of light. We just anchored through your open feet. Really see that river of light pouring up through your root, pouring down through your legs, abundant and rushing and nourishing, pouring into the roots below your feet. And so we do acknowledge the forces of light, asking for guidance, direction, and courage to know the truth as it is revealed for our highest good and the highest good of everyone connected to us. Holy Spirit of divine light, protect me, please, from all forms of self-centeredness and direct my attention to the work at hand. Help me to know everybody here tonight on this Facebook Live in the light of the Akashic Records, Help me to see everybody here today at Katie Rubin's Biz Stuff on this Facebook Live through the eyes of the Lords of the Records, and enable me to share, please, the wisdom and compassion that the masters, teachers, and loved ones of everybody here on this Facebook Live at Katie Rubin's Biz Stuff or on my personal page has for everybody here tonight on this Facebook Live. And I'll go quiet for just a moment. Please breathe into your low belly. Okay, and as we're dropping into, connecting with, anchoring into the Akashic records of this group of people, everybody who's joined us here tonight on this Facebook Live, just asking the record keepers of this collective to clear, release, uncreate, destroy, dissolve, process, integrate, whatever each individual needs, clear, release, processed, integrated, etc., so that they can each receive maximum healing, guidance, wellness, awareness. So anything and everything in your heart, everybody listening, that would stand in the way of you receiving maximum information, guidance, healing, and integration tonight, feel into that, whatever it might be. So everything that is, we're calling consciousness to that and asking that it be dissolved for everyone on this call, on this live. Anything and everything in your heart, the stress from your day, the resistance you might have to knowing what's true, your avoidance of your more vulnerable feelings, your lack of desire to kick up the dust, because maybe you're actually having some peace and you don't want to kick up the dust again. The places in your heart that are afraid to be processed because you know it's going to hurt a little as the processing occurs. Let's just get in touch with those walls of defense, those fears inside of our hearts, and just let this light meet you in that place and just nurture it for you and dissolve it for you. But you feeling into it, yeah. So for a couple of you, if you can feel into the brain stem, like the back of your neck, and imagine like all these sort of hanging ganglia from the brain that drop down into the neck. Feel into that where the neck and the brain merge at the back of the neck there. And we'll just open ourselves in the brain stem to receive divine light transmission right into it. What this does is we carry a kind of secondary, when there's an injury to the heart or an emotional trauma that occurs that doesn't have room or space to be nurtured and held and healed when it happens, like when you're a kid, right? We get a kind of secondary crystallization of those emotions in the brainstem. So everything unprocessed in the heart gets lodged as a kind of thick, kind of like crystalline resin in the brainstem. So right now there's a bunch of light coming to this group at the back of the heart and in the brainstem. So if you need a place to feel into because you're not really aware of anything happening for you right now, feel into the back of your heart chakra, the heart chakra at the center of the chest. Feel it to the back of it toward your spine. That's better. And or feel into your belly and or into the brainstem at the back of the neck here. And or feel into all of that. And we invite divine light transmission directly into these three places. We invite conscious awareness to meet us in all the places we are unconscious. Everyone on this Facebook Live. Allah. We ask that you take it, release it, clear it, process it. integrate it, open it, dissolve it. Hmm. All right. So from here, I'm wondering for the record keepers of this group, is there anything you'd like to say or have them hear before we take some questions from them? Okay, yes. So remember, beloveds, they always speak with the language of the Sufi love. It's probably because I'm steeped in the alignment. It's a long story. Anyway, my spiritual prophetic lineage is the Sufi one. And so beloved is a word from that path. And so, we're all psychics and channelers and Akashic whoever's. There's always a filter that it's always being processed through because we are human beings. And I have my particular alignment through which consciousness can communicate. And so, beloveds, we offer you this insight for your expansion and activation. Excuse me. Please remember, you must aggressively, committedly participate in your own awakening, moment by moment by moment. You must aggressively, committedly participate in your awakening. If you want to know the truth and live as a conscious being on this planet, which is, not a common choice, you're going to need to be super present, super aware, super willing to feel, super willing to get uncomfortable, super willing to know what is. When you know what is, both with yourself and with those around you, you can operate with awareness. When you choose to live in denial of what is, you can't operate from awareness. Let's give an example. I have my dog on my lap here, and I just took her to the beach, like I said, and she was so hot on the beach that she was panting and looking at me and climbing my body, and I could tell that she was hot and didn't want to be there. So I knew I needed to take her back to the car, turn the AC on, and we both needed to sit there so she could cool down. Then I left the car running, locked with the AC on, went back and got my shit from the beach. Now, at any point in that situation, I could have gone into denial about what is. Oh, she's not that hot. Oh, it's not that bad. Oh, I can keep her with me for a few more minutes. The dog was melting and she was really unhappy. So because I wanted, my ego and my desire was, I want to stay on this beach and lay here in the sun and get the water from the waves on my body. I want to go into denial about what's going on for the dog. But that's not kind, and that's not considerate, and it's not true. And lucky for me, or unfortunately for me, however you like to frame it, I don't get to live with a whole lot of denial these days. And I love my dog, so I want her to be happy and comfortable. So I did that. I took her back. Now, because I was willing to take her back and be with reality, I could be aware of what was required and I could move forward, and everybody got their needs met. Because when I ran back to get my blankets and my stuff, while she was in the air-conditioned car, safe, locked in with a very cold room where she was not going to get overheated, I was able to dip my ass in the ocean for 2 minutes and get what I wanted, get my bags, and get back into the car where my dog was happy and curled up and napping. Now, let's take a better example, a bigger one where the stakes are higher. You're dating someone and they're behaving, they're rejecting you, they're abandoning you, they're not responding to you, they're not available, you feel like your needs are not met. But you don't want this to be the case because you want to avoid a confrontation, because you're afraid if you confront them, they will leave you. So you're choosing to not get your needs met so that you can get this sort of like partial need met of just having a warm body there, right? But your needs are not getting met and your heart is getting broken. So you could choose to go into denial about that and keep that person there. Or you could choose to face reality and believe that it might be possible that you could actually get all your needs met. You could get your needs met in a way where you're meeting, in a way that is reasonable inside of relationship, given all the givens. And because you're in reality and because you're facing truth, you say to the person, hey, like when you do this behavior, I feel really alone and rejected. And, you're not responding to my emails and my texts and I feel terrible about it. I think I need this to be a little different. I need to feel like you want to respond to me. Is that something you can do? Then the person, which notice there's a question at the end there, there's not a demand and there's not a judgment of the person. It's like, this is what I need. This is how it makes me feel. Is that something you can do? I statements followed by a question. I wouldn't even know to apply I statements followed by a question if I'm not willing to be aware of the fact that what's happening with me and this person is not working for me and I'm not getting my needs met. So the point being, we have to be first aware of what is in order to be able to know what actions are required next. All right, so let me see where they want to go with this next. So what else do you guys want to deliver for this group? Okay, so empowerment means the first piece of empowerment is being aware of what is, owning the lower self pain of your experience of reality. When you won't own your pain, you can't change your pain. So many humans right now are trying to do positive thinking on top of pain and thinking that's enough. Sometimes you do have to positively coach your mind to get yourself to do things. But in the meantime, that doesn't take away the pain. It just gets you to do things. Excuse me. So in order to be actually free of the pain, you have to admit the pain is present. And you all need to stop judging yourselves, this group in particular, for the pain that you're having. You're not bad and wrong for having pain. Your pain body talks to you when something isn't right. Something is awry. It's trying to give you guidance for where your needs are not getting met. Okay, so when you say my foot hurts, then you know to stop, look down at your foot and see that there's a piece of glass in it and you're bleeding. So what do you need? Take the glass out, pour some hydrogen peroxide on there, put a Band-Aid on it. But if you don't admit that the foot is bleeding, how can you help yourself? Okay, so similarly in relationships, please, you can't keep pretending everything's okay. You can't keep pretending you can't even keep pretending, my loves, they say, that the thing that is mildly okay and sort of fine is enough for you. It's not. And you're not a demanding asshole for having needs. You're a human being with needs. The human beings who get on the spiritual path, they often think they're supposed to become needless. No. You have a nervous system. A nervous system has needs. Are you going to get them met? And what is required to get them met? You can't know what's required to get them met if you won't admit they're not getting met. Okay. I just opened my eyes and I'm realizing what a mess this room is. I'm just enjoying it so much. Let's do deep spiritual transformational work in just the shittiest, messiest dungeon of a room. I love it. Cool. Anything else, record keeper? Okay, so just to wrap that up, it's like this. What you refuse to face inside yourself, every place where there's a density, every piece of resistance you have to people, every piece of anger, every piece of grief and sorrow, every piece you refuse to meet up with and feel into and face within yourself, whether you do it, however you do it, whatever teaching or methodology or plant medicine or therapy or meditation or healing work, whatever, every piece that you refuse to feel into is a piece you have no power over. You have no say over what happens, over something that you choose to push to the back of your consciousness. But anything you're willing to bring into your conscious awareness, I don't want to admit how sad I am in my relationship. I don't want to admit I'm not making enough money. I don't want to admit I don't like how my body feels, so I might need to eat differently. I don't want to admit my dad is mean to me. I think I have to hang out with my dad less, but he's my dad. I don't want to admit these things. But then you go to a healer or a therapist and you ask them to change things for you and they can't because you won't admit what's happening. So until you can admit what's happening, you can't have any effect on the thing that's happening. And this is antithetical to a lot of these fucking half-assed teachings in the world that talk about just think positive, just toxic, good vibes only. Fuck off. I'm so done. I can't even talk about that anymore. It's just, I'm done. Okay. All right. Anything else? to say about this point. No. All right. So let's take some questions. And while you guys are asking questions, I'm going to start to shuffle. They're going to have me shuffle a deck so I can pull 3 cards for y'all. But since I'm in the records of everybody here, what is ailing you? What are you struggling with? What could you use a little guidance from Source, the divine, conscious awareness, your record keepers about? Please type it into the chat and I'll get to as many of you as I can. But now is the time. Just choosing which deck. We'll use this one. Okay. So please don't be shy. Remember that you guys, when you ask your questions, there's always at least one, if not many, other people in the group who need to hear the question you have. People don't even know the questions they need to hear until you ask them. So please don't be shy. You can ask very specific things about your personal life. What should I do about this? Is it in my highest good to do that? What about this person? How do I heal my neck? What do I do about my back? Whatever it might be. And you know what? Person who said Northern Florida is essentially Southern Georgia. Yeah, it's true. But you know what they have in Southern Georgia? Southern hospitality. People are nice and friendly and welcoming. They're welcoming, which is welcoming and warm all at the same time. What is still blocking my heart? I think this is Ray, right? Is this you, Ray? Can you let me know if that's who this is? All right. I got a bunch of information, but I want to be sure this is Ray. Yes. Leslie says yes, but I want to know from Ray if this is Ray. Hi, Taryn Rome. Okay. Yes. Okay, great. All right. What's still blocking her heart? All right. Oh boy. This is deep. Question 1, and we're going deep. When you were young, whatever happened, you identified with, okay, in reaction to what happened in your childhood, right? Maybe they judged you or they abandoned you or they misunderstood you or they hurt your feelings. Maybe it was kids at school. Maybe it was your parents. Maybe it was your brothers and whatever. Whatever happened, it triggered you at that time when you were unable to process what was happening. And some of it is the deeper abuse stuff. Triggered you into becoming a kind of now I'm going to overly diagnose you, but this is not an actual diagnosis. I'm just going to use words. I'm going to use the best words I have to make sense of the energies I'm getting, but I'm not actually diagnosing you. Okay. You adopted a kind of identity of being kind of oppositional and defiant. There's a way that you're quite identified in the heart, like identified with, meaning I am this person who is like this. But some of what you're identified with, my love, in your heart is oppositional defiance that isn't actually you. It's a personality defense. It's a piece of defense. Defense, like defense around your house. It keeps everybody out, but it keeps the love out too. So that's what it is. So part of what makes it difficult to clear or heal or release or process or integrate that particular kind of defensive structuring in front of and on the heart, the layers of the heart, is that you identify as it. So why would you want to let it go? So my suggestion here would be something like, when you get into doing some healing work on these layers of defense in front of your heart, you're going to need to go, who am I angry at? Where am I righteous? Where am I so fucking righteous? And where you're right, where you're very, very right in your heart and very righteous, that's creating the walls. But it's creating the walls because you're identified with your point of view as being so right. Dissolve the walls of rightness and you'll be free from those particular walls. I hope that makes sense. Happy to help you with it. Book a sesh already, dude. And let's get into that. KatieRubin.com. I adore you. Thank you for that question. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions to that, Ray. It's great to hear you. Whoops. Oh my God, look what I did. Let's do it again. I put Ben's question on the thing. Ah, do you see that? Can you guys see his little question? I love it. That's what a cool technology thing. I did it accidentally. I'm enjoying myself. Okay. Ben Ismail. Okay. Benjamin Ismail. Benji. We're going with Benji. What is the prophetic lineage or star tribe of my soul? All right. Prophetic lineage. So Truth, does he have a prophetic lineage? Huh. That reads like a no. Let me come back to that. Does he have a star? Yes. Orion, for sure. Others. So he's like straight Orion. I never know what those guys are called. Are they the what are they called? Does it start with an A? No. Okay, so do some research, Ben, on the star beings from planet Orion. Some of you might actually know about it. Feel free to put it in the chat if you know about this. Let me ask. I have another question. Would he benefit from anchoring into a prophetic lineage? No. Does his soul have a prophetic lineage? No. That's not maybe your jam. Believe me, you're not missing out if there's no prophetic lineage. Like, don't see it as a bad thing. Like, but those Orion guys, they can send you some cool shit. I want to say they're called the Andromedans but they're from Andromeda. There's a name for those from Orion. Did someone write it? Okay, good. I'm so glad, Ray, that was helpful to you. Well, if anybody knows what they're called, but Ben, do some research on that. Let me know how that goes. And let me know if you have any follow-up questions to that. Okay, Kristen, so good to see you. Is it a career change that I actually need? No. Should I continue in the medical field? No. It would behoove you more to be in education, medical education. Can you switch into like more of an education role within the medical field? The medical part is less important for you. The education is more important. Teaching, learning, reading, sharing information, like that. It's not that the field has to change per se, it's your role in it. Education, education, education. I feel like we've gotten that for you before. Haven't we gotten that for you? Isn't that in your human design or something? Let me know. It's coming through strong right now. All right, Doc Bill, and let me know if you have follow-up questions, Kristen, please. Human design info often talks about the shadow aspects of a gate. Is that the same as a hanging gate? No, which they mention rarely. No. So, okay, I hear your question. Hanging gate just means, okay, there are centers in the human design chart, and then any gate hanging off of any center is a hanging gate. Hanging gate just means like it doesn't connect to another gate and form a channel. So they're all hanging gates unless they're channels. Some people I notice say they refer to hanging gates as any gate hanging off of an open center, they call a hanging gate. And any gate off of a defined center, they call a gate. But that distinction is not that important. It's just they're all gates or hanging gates. Now, the shadow aspect of a gate refers to in the same way that, okay, if you look at a center, okay, anything in human design that has definition, a center, a gate, or a channel, definition means fixation. It means I am like this. It's a personality. It's a function of the personality, you could say, or the self. So it's a fixation. It's not a full liberation. It's not fully open. It's not fully flexible. It's like rigidly away. So when you have definition in a center, that center is fixated into a certain way of being. And similar, and so are gates, and so are channels. Anything colored in has a fixation. So anything with a fixation or a personality, that personality has gifts and it has shadow aspects. So your defined centers have gifts and shadow aspects. Your defined gates have gifts and shadow aspects. So when you read about the gift of, I don't know, let me think, like the gate of control. You and I both have that one. We can talk about that easily. There are great gifts to being controlling. I have them all. And there are great shadow aspects to being controlling. And I have worked with them all. And I continue to work with all the shadow aspects of my need to control. Now, this comes back to the very thing we started, the record keepers were saying when we started, which was when you won't look at a shadow aspect of self, you can't gain any wisdom about it. You can't gain any control over it. You can't master it. You can't use it in a useful way if you won't look at the shadow aspect of it. So it would be a great practice, Bill, to look at every single gate and understand its shadow aspect, and then start to work with those shadow aspects within yourself. Okay, let me know if you have any follow-up questions to that. Great question. Jacqueline. Jacqueline, what should I be doing daily to feel connected to spirit? Is there a specific, more structured practice path that would be best for me? Like ancestral, magic with a K, or any of the isms? That's great. All right, for Jacqueline Holbrook, conscious awareness, we're asking, what's going to tap her into spirit more regularly, more easily, daily? Is there something? Wicca, earth magic, like getting connected to the earth. So any incantations. So you can do earth magic incantations. Those will help. Think of them as, okay, in the same way that like a Christian person, when they pray to God or Jesus, you are on one level conjuring something, and on another level asking for something, right? You're kind of bringing something into consciousness, and you're also asking for something to be brought into consciousness. That's how you, Jacqueline, can work with incantations, like earth-based, earthbound spirit incantations. Think of the incantations, like get a spell book or an incantation book from a Wiccan book if you can. They're also like, you might enjoy the Quaker faith. If you're not already involved, you might enjoy hanging out with those guys. Read what they have to say, go hang out with them, dabble in that. Also, so when you get a book of incantations about the earth magic, remember that as you incant, you're making a request and you're conjuring something with your will. It's both at the same time. That's interesting. I hope I hope that's useful, Jacqueline. Please let me know if you have any follow-ups. Tina. Tina. Is that better? Did I do it better? What do I need in order to process what happened in my life this year? Like talk therapy, that's a no. Healing work, yes. Or somatic work. I get the middle energy on somatic work. So let me listen in for what that's about. Okay, so do your energy healing work and it will affect your somatic. It'll affect your body. So you'll get the somatic work from the energy work, from the healing work. I promise I'm not just saying that because I'm an energy healer. It's what your field, it's what you work with best. You just need someone who can hold space for you, transmit a bunch of light into the places where you need to cry and where you need to reintegrate. You kind of split off from yourself in a couple little places, but that's easy enough. We need to call back those parts of self. We need to nurture your nervous system and your spinal column a little bit. Oh, that was weird. Oh, that was my neighbors, I think. Yes. Whew, that scared me. My neighbors outside at this Airbnb are throwing their garbage out, and it sounded like, there's a person in the building. So we need to nurture your nervous system, call back those parts of self that took off, give you space to cry, bring the divine light through. So you just need somebody who can hold you in that space. I would be happy to do it. But also if you can get with somebody, I do see you on a table. If you could be with someone who can meet with you in person and who's really good with the energy work and can really move stuff on a table, that'd be ideal. I love you. It's good to hear from you, my love. Gretchy Lou. I'm a healer and a channel and struggling with healing everyone else while remaining physically lonely. When people get close to me intimately, they run. The record keepers are like, yes, they do. And I'm like, all right, that's not helpful, but thanks. I have fear of connecting because even strong individuals detach. Whew, it hurts, and I'm trying to find a balance to turn off the unsolicited healing so I can connect intimately in this dimension. I see. Okay, so for Gretchy Lou, can we do anything? Yes. Can we do it here? No. All right. So let me just see here. What is causing the people to detach when she gets intimately involved? Okay. 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 I'm going to start talking, and then more is going to come as I start. So look, your field is really strong, really strong. And it begins to activate people and awaken people and open them the moment they interact with you. You just haven't met anyone strong enough yet. You haven't met the right person. You haven't met the person who can stay with you, parallel with you. I promise you, I would tell you, I'm like, is it entities? Is it demons? Is it aliens? Is it past life? Is it trauma from this life? Is it anything in her system? No. Is it this other thing? And it is. You need somebody who wants that shit. You need somebody who, when they listen, spiritual people who are really cool and activated like yourself, they're always trying to, myself included, we're always trying to like be a little normaler so we can have a little normalcy. We want to just like have a man. So it's like, I'll just be like a girl and go to the bar, you know? And it's just not true. It's not the thing. It takes a very particular individual to be able to handle the gifts you have, but that individual exists. You just can't settle for these chumps who can't handle you and who also don't want what you have. You need somebody who's like, oh my God, you can do that. Let's do it. Do more. What? Of course, you don't want to be depleted, but you get it. It's when it's the right person, you'll want to just give them stuff for free, or you'll be like, hun, I need to stop now, and they'll understand. So, okay. Fear of connecting. Yeah, of course, because you've been hurt. Does she need to turn off the unsolicited healing? Well, the thing with unsolicited healing is you don't want to unsolicitedly heal people. But sometimes, I'm really sorry to break this to you, because this is not this flies in the face of every conventional piece of therapeutic wisdom that there is. Sometimes you can't. I'll give you an example. I have a new buddy, a female friend who I was like, she's just a buddy, and we were hanging out a bunch. We'd hung out twice, I think. And on the second hangout, we went to see a play. And in the middle of the play, she's sitting to my left, and I keep looking at her, and I'm yawning, and my eyes are watering. And she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I know you don't know me well enough for this to make any sense or sound like a rational sentence. But there are so many entities attached to your heart, and entities really don't like me. So I either need to clear them out of your system, or I have to go home. She was like, go ahead. And I was like, we're going to be friends. So just sitting there in this theater before this play started, I was just like doing the thing I know how to do internally, and pulled out, there were 5 of them. I could not stop yawning and crying because entities are fucking dark and they don't like light, because they know light is a threat. So the only thing I can do if I want to have a good night is clear those fuckers or get the hell out of there. Now, people will tell you, like, have better boundaries, or like put an egg of light around your. That shit has never worked for me. It may one day, but I also don't know any of my healer friends. I know some fucking high, powerful healers in this world. They're not good at that either. So sometimes to me, it's an issue of why you want to hang out with somebody who can't receive the magic that you are in the first place. You actually don't want to, because in the end, it becomes such a drain that there's no point. Now, I'm not talking about you have to date people who are just as woo-woo as you, or they're just like you, or they want to do energy healing too. No, but I've dated plenty of people who are like, that was cool. Do more of that, girl. I've dated people who are like, totally get it and on the same page. I've dated people who are like in judgment of it, and that never fucking works. But those first 2 versions can work really well. I hope that helps, Gretchy. Please let me know if you have follow-ups to that. Taryn Rome, is anything popping for me? I really hate that question. I appreciate you. I know you don't mean to irritate me. I just really hate that question. It's way too general for me. If you could be a little more specific, they just give me a no on that. Here's how consciousness works with me. Okay. This is just me. Consciousness is really interested in empowering people. So when someone says, what's popping for me? What do the record keepers have for me? It's like a way of disempowering yourself and going like, I don't know, whatever. The consciousness and God, they're not interested in like just giving you whatever. I might, if I sat with your field, Taryn, for a while and felt into it, and already I could start to tell you stuff that I perceive and that they show me. But that's not going to be very helpful to you. What's going to be helpful to you in the long run is for you to get empowered around what do you actually want to know? What's troubling you? What's not working well in your life? Where are you stuck or struggling? Ask me about that and I'll help you out. And I don't mean to blow you off. That's what I get. And that's the way I teach. It's not the Arcturians, I don't think, that are from Orion, Bill. It's not the Arcturians. The Arcturians are from Arcturus, I think. Yeah. So Orion has somebody else there. Okay. Charlie Robinson. Charlie, what's up? I didn't realize who that was. Okay. Okay. Whew. All right. Does Charlie have a prophetic lineage? Does Charlie's soul have a prophetic lineage? Is any prophetic lineage relevant for Charlie? No. Haven't we talked about your star origins before, Charlie? I get a yes that we have. All right, let's see. What's Charlie's star origin family things? Okay, the Lyrans, the Lemurians, is that it? Are there more? Not for now. So they'd like you to look into, look into the Lyrans, Lyrans, and the Lemurians, Lemurians. Whew. You would do really well, Charlie, to watch the show. I can't think of it now. Matthias DeStefano's show on Gaia. Look for Matthias DeStefano's show. It's called, does anybody know? Activation, integration, renaming stuff. I can't think of what it's called. Watch that show. You're going to love it. You're going to love it a lot. Okay, I hope that's helpful. And read about the Lyrans and the Lemurians. Kristen says that reads awesome. Rhonda, hi. Is my interest in all things temple, sensual arts, simply for the enjoyment, learning, and or healing? Or am I to consider utilizing it more professionally also? Yes, consider utilizing it more professionally also. Big fat hardcore yes. I'm just feeling into it a little bit more. Yeah, use that shit. Mm-hmm. Also, there's something about your personality and the temple of your body that is very inviting and nourishing and nurturing for people in a way that you might not believe, but is true. Like you're a very welcoming space for people who will want to explore that particular thing. I don't even exactly know what we're talking about, but that's what I get for you. Let me know if you have follow-ups on that. Kristen says, in human design, but we haven't discussed it before. Okay, I don't know how to be an educator in that field without working in it. Another question. You can't, I don't think I understand what you're saying, Kristen. Can you help me understand what you're saying? I don't know how to be an educator in that field without working in it. You can work in it. Just be an educator in it. That's all. Does that help? Tine, I feel a very emotional reaction when hearing the invocation prayer from shamanic traditions, the one calling all the directions. Why do I react this way? Oh, wow. What a fun question. Okay. Let me feel into that. Whew, the 4 directions. Does she have past lives there? No. Well, because does she have past lives there? A past life there? No. Okay. There's great healing for you. Oh my God. It really opens your heart, doesn't it? And it really opens mine as I feel into, that's really beautiful. There's great healing for you through the shamanic traditions and through the 4 directions. That's why. It's kind of like, think of it like this. If you want to put butter on a sandwich, who puts butter on a sandwich? If you want to put butter on bread, on toast, okay. I'm just picturing like a Reuben sandwich with just butter on the top. Okay, if you want to butter bread, you're going to use a knife. So you need the correct tool for the project at hand. The shamanic work and the 4 directions brings great healing to your heart. And soul retrieval work, yes. Shamanic for you. Yes, that's why. Does that make sense? Let me know. Cindy, I found my 6 years old self this weekend. That I'm working to integrate. Is there anything that I need to know to help work through this? I'm feeling a bit lighter daily, but is there something more I can do? Okay, so there's a yes on that. Okay, remember when you're doing parts work, and this is for everybody, but Cindy, when you're doing parts work, the whole thing about parts work is really, really with zero judgment, letting the part cry, scream, emote, express exactly as it wants to, and don't rush it. And don't do parts work with the goal of being free of the part. You have to do parts work with no attachment to what happens in the end. But hint, hint, when you have no attachment to what happens in the end, they integrate and you feel whole and you're done with it. If you struggle to get to that place, do a session when you're ready. And what I find works really well with parts work is integrating the divine light in the holding of the part as the part is processing. Let me know if that helps. If you have any other questions, happy to follow up. Groovy. When I do heavy physical work, says Bill, I occasionally strain a muscle, which a while later manifests as pain in this muscle. Is this simply physical? Yes. Or is it psychically related to? No. It's physical. Be careful of your physical body. There's something going on, I think, there's a nerve. I think there's something going on in your vagus nerve, Bill. You know about the vasovagal nerve? I would do some vagus nerve strengthening exercises. If you go to YouTube and just Google vagus nerve strengthening exercises, start there. Does he need to see a doctor or anything about? No. Yeah, start there. I think you have a vagus nerve issue. Like it's being slightly pinched, and that's what's happening. Let me know how that goes. Deirdre, my sister and I are at a crossroads. Any insight? I need much more information than that. I'm sorry, my love. What does at a crossroads mean? Jacqueline Holbrook, very interesting. Those paths have never crossed my mind. My big 3 are all water signs. So maybe earth magic would help ground me. Yes. Thank you so much, Katie. My pleasure. I hope so. Follow up with me. Let me know how it goes. Will you, Jacqueline? Give me a second. Yeah, I mean, they're like, when you have a ton of water, you don't need more water, right? You need something else. Anyway, just try it. See what happens. And you can always stop. You're not obligated. Margaret McCarran, what's up, girl? Should I continue to avoid gluten and dairy? Is it in her highest good and her body's highest good to avoid gluten and dairy, to stay off it entirely? Is it in her highest good to stay off of gluten entirely, dairy entirely? No. Okay, can she eat it again? Yes. Okay. You want to, the gluten is better than the dairy actually at this point, but just be aware. It's like, be mindful. They're like, don't eat 70 pieces of pizza, but like have a bowl of gluten-y oatmeal or something and see how it goes. Less dairy. It's not a no. It's not a hard no. It's like some dairy, but not forever all the dairy. Does that make sense? Let me know. Cindy, getting so much out of what you're telling others. Oh, good. That's why we do it in a group. I'm so glad. Yay, Cindy. Thank you for saying that. Charlie says no. I don't know what the no is in response to. I'm sorry. It's been a while. Tell me. Gretchen, thank you for this. Follow up is, how do I clear the existential rage and hopelessness? You get a private healing session with me and we'll process that through. You just go to katierubin.com and book your session, or do it with someone else. But you got to process your rage, and for you, it's like, do it with an energy healer who's divinely connected, that. Rachel Nicole, what's up, home slice? Wait, Rachel Nicole. Do I know who that is? Maybe not. But anyway, hi. Nice to see you. I thought I knew who you were, but I don't think I do. Navigating difficult decisions with my son. Is there anything the record keepers can tell me that would be beneficial for me or him? That's a big yes. Navigating difficult decisions. My pleasure, Rhonda. Yay. Oh my God, it's so exciting. You have to keep me in the loop of how that goes, Rhonda. Okay, Rachel Nicole. Okay, this is big, huh? What would be beneficial for me or him navigating big decisions with my son? Well, I think I need a little more information. I need to know how old your son is and what kind of decisions. But the first thing I get is like, it's about regulating his nervous system. He needs to have it's about regulating his nervous system, whatever you can do to regulate it. And then for you, you need time where you get time alone. You need a lot of support to do this. But it has to be all about you. It can't be time alone with somebody helping you help him, because you're already doing that, and do that. You have to do that. But also you need time alone with a therapist, coach, somebody who can hold space for you while you melt down and grieve and be mad. You need a place to be mad and angry and reactive and you need to emote, because it takes so much out of you to take care with your son and to navigate the decisions. So tell me a little bit more about the decisions and the age of your son, and then I'll give some more. I hope that's helpful. Elizabeth Ann, hello. Okay, we're wrapping up here, guys, but he's 14 and he's being sent to a residential facility. Yeah. Well, of course he's mad about it, and of course it's breaking your heart. Give me a second. I'm glad that's helpful. Give me a second. Is there anything else she needs to know, Rachel Nicole, about? So that's the regulating the system. Is he like on some stuff that's dysregulating him, or is it a neurotypical thing that has him dysregulated? I think it's more that he's been on something. He needs to get centered and regulated, and he can be as mad as he wants to be about it. You have to keep showing up with him with love, support, boundaries, strength, and love. But in order to do so, you're going to need that time and space to process for yourself. Thank you for the info and for the very vulnerable share. I really appreciate it. A psychic friend told me years ago I was of the fairy realm. This is for Elizabeth Ann. You guys, we're going to go a few minutes over. We're going to go until about 6:35 or 6:40, just so I can get to all these questions that are here. Feel free to pop off, but I would love it if you guys could stay the next 5 or 7 minutes, just so we can close the records together. If you're able. A psychic friend told me years ago I was of the fairy realm. That stuck with me, but a realm I have not heard you mention. Does this make any sense to you, the fairy realm? Absolutely. Yes. We love the fairy realm. The Malakut realm? Yeah. Yeah. So in the Sufi parlance, there's the Mulk, which is where we live right here. Then there's the Malakut. Then there's the Lahut. Then there's the Jabarut. And then there's the Unity. Or is it Jabarut and then Lahut? No, Lahut, Jabarut, Unity. And the Malakut realm is the realm of the angels and the fairies and the earthbound spirits. So yeah, totally. Love the fairy realm. Is Elizabeth Ann of the fairy realm? That's a big fat yes. Fairies. Let me know if you have any other questions about that. All right, Taryn, thank you for coming back. Are there any energetic tools or other modalities that I need to start working with? Yes. Okay. You would benefit from starting with some EFT, some tapping, but you need a facilitator who can really talk you through and walk you through how to work with trauma, specifically it from the heart to the third chakra to the second to the first, the whole 4-3-2-1 combo, tapping through. it'd be a great way to start is to feel into what's in your heart and go, all this tension in my heart, all this tension in my heart, all this tightness, and go through the points. If you don't know how, book a session. I'll teach you, or work with another EFT person and they can teach you. But I definitely do that. And you could really use it. There's a lot in there, as I'm sure you know. I don't mean to give you shit. I just mean I can feel it. It's pretty intense. So happy to support you there. My pleasure, Cindy. Happy to help you. Shamanic Prayers says Tina feels like it completely opens my heart. Really does. Would I benefit from receiving healing from the tradition? Yes. How will I find someone I align with? Google it and pray. Or should I learn to work with it? No, don't do it yourself. Could I learn and educate myself to help others with it too? Not right now. Right now, just get the healing you need. That's what I get. Gretchen Lou, thank you. Oh, my pleasure, Gretchen. Thank you so much for that acknowledgement. That touches my heart. I appreciate it. Okay, great. Deirdre, she's upset with me because I'm sick with COVID and she can't attend my niece's wedding in August. She's pulled away from our relationship the last few years and her lack of empathy towards me hurts deeply. She's my person. Oh, it doesn't sound like it. So I usually just ignore my upset. Ew. And not just challenge her point of view. Gross. That's called codependency, my love. You have to challenge her point of view, particularly if she's your person. Look, you can't have real intimacy with someone when you don't tell them your own truth. That's not intimacy. That's her being in control of you. So you're finally having some real intimacy and she's triggered. Also, who gets mad at someone for you having COVID? It's not your fault. This woman has some stuff going on that has nothing to do with you, and you're internalizing it as if you've done something wrong. You need to challenge her point of view every time it's shitty, because then she knows who you really are. And then she's having a relationship with the actual you, not the pretend you. I love you. Kristen, my initial question was whether I should continue in the medical field. Guidance was no. They're like, no, it wasn't. Kinda in education. As a medical provider, how do I educate with only schooling? With only schooling. I don't know what that means. As a medical provider, how do I just use your medical training and be an educator in that field? They're not saying leave the field. It's not about you being a practitioner of medicalness. It's about being an educator of medicalness. It's simple. I think you're maybe complicating it a little, but maybe I'm misunderstanding you. So help me understand if I'm missing it. Is it in Kristen's highest good to continue in the medical field? No, not in the way you have been, but you want to be in education around it. Yeah. Like you can teach medical things. You don't have to provide medical provisions. You have the kind of mind. Okay, let me say this. You have the kind of mind that can articulate things about what you know about the medical world that other people can't articulate. That's part of your gift. Also, there's something you get that is very fulfilling and activating and de-depressionizing and empowering and enlightening by teaching. When you're up in front of the room and you're leading it and you're the one who knows the stuff, that's very enlightening and empowering for you. Providing the service, it's not the same. It's not the same. It doesn't do the thing for you that the teaching does. So if you can work your way over time into some kind of educational role, that's the idea. I hope that helps. Let me know. My pleasure, Taryn. I hope it's helpful. Christine, part-time job interview on Friday. Is it a fit for me? Reads like a yes for me right now, Christine. Tina, oh my God. My pleasure. It's so nice to see you here. I just adore you. Let us know how the shamanic work goes. Margaret, my pleasure. I love you so much. Deirdre, my pleasure. I know that is a little harsh, but like, I'm sorry. You can't let people steamroll you. And then, no, I care too much about you. I'm not into it. I'm mad at her. No, I say no. Kristen, I haven't worked at all yet, just school. Oh, great. Even better. So twist it into the education direction. Do I have some educational gifts? I get a no, but I also don't know what you mean. If you could ask more another time, Taryn, that would be helpful. Rhonda, grateful for your heart. I love you guys. I love you so much. Okay, let's close the record so you guys can go have an evening. My pleasure, everybody. Okay. I want to thank the masters, teachers, and loved ones for their love and compassion, the lords of the records for their point of view, and the Holy Spirit of light for all knowledge and healing. I want to thank consciousness and conscious awareness as well. Oh, how we love conscious awareness. I ask that you return everybody here tonight on Katie's Facebook Live, whatever we call this, to their complete human wholeness. I ask that you return everybody's energy here tonight to themselves. The divine portal and the Akashic records of everybody on this Facebook Live are now closed. Amen. The divine portal and the Akashic records of everybody on this Facebook Live are now closed. Amen. The divine portal and the Akashic records of everybody on this Facebook Live are now closed. Amen, amen, amen. Shadawan la ilaha illallah, shadawan Muhammad abduhu rasulullah, Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Amen. Groovy. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. What a fun Katie Church this was. Here's the Squeezle dog sending you her post-beach love. She's so grateful I didn't make her stay out there on the hot, hot sand because she is a queen. And you can't make a queen melt. They get mad. Okay, I love you. Be in touch. KatieRubin.com when you're ready to book your sessions. Oh, and Friday, my next healing class begins. It's a 4-week class. It's an intensive. It's 2 hours every Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern. And then you get 2 private sessions with this bitch to heal whatever you want and ask all the questions and look at your human design chart all within the 4 weeks. So 4 classes, 2, 4, 6, 8 hours total. Lots of healing inside those 4 classes, plus 2 private sessions with this bitch. Come join us. It's called Highest Level Healing. You can book it at KatieRubin.com or you can message me at KLRubin. At gmail.com and ask me questions about it. Yeah, thank you, Cindy. I'm glad I'm okay from the storm too. That was a living nightmare. And if you want to hear the whole story of it, listen to this week's episode of my podcast, All the Answers, where I tell the whole story of this insane 2 bolts of lightning that struck on the ground 10 feet away from me. 3 total. It's a whole story. Check out the episode. I love you guys. Mwah, mwah. Have a good night.